Hi everybody, Josh or Sponge Jr. here with a little tutorial on how to install and run bookmarklets on tablets. Now this is mainly intended for Khan Academy support advocates, guardians, and other volunteers, but other people might find it useful as well because it's a little bit tricky to install bookmarklets on tablets, not quite as straightforward as a desktop PC or such. And they have pretty wide use. You can find a lot of bookmarklets out there, a lot of scripts to improve your web experience. So what is a bookmarklet? It's a script. It's some code, JavaScript actually, and it's just a snippet of JavaScript that the user can run whenever they want to do something special with a web page. The example I have here will take any Khan Academy web page that has usernames, like you see my Josh Sponge Jr. there, and it'll take those and it'll add a second link right next to it that has the user's KAID, a unique identifier, and that can have some use for moderators. So we're going to install this on our Android tablet that I have right here. So the first thing you want to do is you need to get the code for the bookmarklet onto your clipboard. You need to copy it. So you need to navigate to wherever this bookmarklet is that you want to install. That could be a web page or it could be a forum post somewhere. In this particular example, it's one of my Khan Academy programming projects. So what I'm looking for here is the code, and it'll start with JavaScript and a colon. And I want to copy that onto my clipboard. So here it is. It's on the screen over in the right side here. And I'm just going to tap on that and hold, and then I can select it. So now I can drag that over, whoops, to the beginning, and drag this one over to the end of the line. So this can be one of the trickiest parts here, and it might be easiest just to drag it down to the next line like that. That'll work. I've got it all. I know I've got the entire line because it's going down to the next line. So now that I've got all of the code selected, I hit copy, and hopefully that's on the clipboard. So that's the first step. Copy the code of the bookmarklet onto your clipboard. The second step is to create a new bookmark. And this might be something that you do anyway on your device. And it doesn't matter where you are. You can bookmark any page. I'm just going to bookmark the one I'm on since I'm already here. And you can use your own favorite method for doing that. But I'll just tap the star up here next to the address bar, the little star, to bookmark a page. Now when I do this, there's an opportunity to get right to the place we want to go. I'm going to let it go, but I'll show you that. So I hit the star. I guess I held too long. Okay, and right there's the opportunity. If I tap that edit while it was up, that would take me to where I want to be next. So that's a little shortcut. But we're going to assume that I missed that opportunity. Okay, so I bookmarked this page, and that's not what I want. I just bookmarked a page. That's just to give me like a new bookmark. Okay, so now I'll go up to the menus of Chrome, and here I got a little 3 dots to bring up the menus, and I'll go to my bookmarks, and there's the one I've just added, and I'm gonna hit the 3 dots on that and bring up a menu there. Now I want to edit this. Okay, now here's the bookmark I just made. And I'm going to skip name for now. We're going to go down to the URL. And this is the current page, of course, that I bookmarked. This is not what we want. We don't want to bookmark the page. We want to make a bookmarklet with the code that we copied to the clipboard. So I need to get this out of here. I mean, you could tap and just hit, if you have a keyboard or an on-screen keyboard, regardless, you could backspace and get it out of there. For me, I'm going to just tap and hold, and it selected it all. or you may need to tap select all, and then I can just do with one backspace, I can just wipe that all out. Okay, so we got what was in there out of there, and now we want to paste in what we have on our clipboard, which is just like you might do in any other Android app. If you have a keyboard, it's nice, you can Control V to paste, but let's assume that you don't, and we'll tap and hold right here on where the cursor is blinking, the URL field. And now I have the option to paste. So I'll tap paste. And there's the code that we copied earlier. We do want to change the name here. So I'm going to tap up to name. And this was the name of the page that we bookmarked, which of course that's no longer applies anyway. But it does happen to have the name of the bookmarklet as well, so I can just take out part of this and it'll make sense, because this is the username to KAID link inserter. Now there's a little tip I'm going to give you later about this name, because it'll make it easier for you to invoke your bookmarklet later, but for now we're going to just leave it at that. Username to KAID link inserter looks good. URL looks good. And now we just tap the back arrow up at the top here, the edit bookmark. Next to edit bookmark, tap the back arrow. We'll go back. We're back to just our bookmark screen. And you see that that's changed. You also see the little J over there, denoting JavaScript now. And we'll tap the back arrow again that's up there near the top, or you can hit the back if on your device probably. Either one should work. And now we're back to the web page that we were at, which I'll let that load for a moment here. So now that should have done it. That's it. That's all we got to worry about. We're done. We should have added the bookmarklet to our bookmarks, and now the only thing left to do is to invoke that. Now, you don't want to come up here to bookmarks and invoke it and tap it there. That's not going to work. Tap, tap, tap. Not working. And this is why this is the tricky part. So you go to the page that you want to invoke the bookmarklet on, and you have to go up to the address bar at the top. We'll let this load. Okay. So now what this bookmarklet here is supposed to do, like I said earlier, is to take the Josh Sponge Jr. and add a link right there between that and updated 6 months ago. It'll add a KAID link. So let's see if that works. You want to tap on the address bar. I'm going to bring that up, and it's all selected. And now we just have to find our bookmarklet in like the recent list here. So I'm going to start typing the name of it. And that's how we invoke it, by starting to type the name. Start typing username to, it was username to KAID inserter or something. So I'm going to type username, US, and now this is tricky because this is in my recent history. Username to KAID link inserter. That's not it. That's not my bookmarklet. That is the web page that I'm currently on with a very similar name. So that's not it. It's actually not listed there yet. I'm going to have to keep typing. Username. And you know that this is in your favorites, your bookmarks, because it has a star next to it. Username to KAID link inserter with the star next to it, the second choice there, that's the one we want. You also see the JavaScript and all the code there, and that'll help you identify it. So there's the one we want, and if I tap that, it should run the bookmarklet, should invoke it, execute it, run it, however you want to say it. And you don't really see anything, so blind faith here. Hopefully that worked. Let's scroll down the page. And as you see, right next to my name is KAID. It's a link. So the bookmarklet worked. That's exactly what it was supposed to do. Now, I said I would bring something up about the naming. I'm going to go back to my bookmarks here, and I'm going to bring up the menu for this one. Edit. Okay, so this is where you can get into some trouble, as well as, save yourself some trouble, actually. I named mine username to KAID link inserter, and then when I tried to invoke it, I found out I had a whole bunch of other recent and bookmark things that start with U or start with username, and so it was hard to find the one I wanted. You can do something here to maybe namespace all of your bookmarks, namespace it in a certain way so that it's easier to find. You could do it with something like an underscore. And if you put an underscore before as the first character of all your bookmarklets and nothing else, then you can easily get to your bookmarklets with that underscore. I'm going to try that. That doesn't have to be that. You could use a different symbol, or if you know that you'll never use the letter Z or something, if you know that you'll never bookmark something that starts with Z, you could use Z, start everything with Z. You could start everything with the word bookmarklet and then type that, but that's a lot of characters. But the idea here is to get something unique that will come up in that list and be easy for you to find. So I'm going to use the underscore trick. And I'm done, so I'm going to hit the back arrow. And you see it's renamed, and I'm going to hit the back arrow. And I'm going to hit back. And we'll go back to the web page. And this time, and this should be undone because there was a page refresh. So as you see, we don't see the KAID down here next to my name. So we're going to go back up to the address bar, and we need to invoke our bookmarklet, which should now be done with an underscore. And I'll start typing username. And now it's easy to pick out. So I'll tap that. The bookmarklet runs. We scroll down the page, and we see that it took effect. So that's the whole process. Step 1, go to where the bookmarklet is, whether that's a web page, a forum post, something that says, hey, put this in a bookmarklet. You want to copy that to your clipboard. Make sure you get it all and don't get anything extra, if possible. So step 1, copy to the clipboard. Step 2, create a new bookmark. I'm just going to tap the star. Doesn't matter where you do that, and this time I got to the edit. So there's that shortcut. So step 2, create a new bookmark. Step 3, edit the bookmark. And for the URL, paste in the code. For the name, give it a good name, and I'll leave that up to you to decide what you want to use for your naming strategy. You could use something like A and then a dash, and then username to KAID inserter. So there's it doesn't matter what you use there, as long as it's something that'll be easy for you to pull out of your list. And step 4, I guess you want to say, is to invoke the bookmarklet. Those 3 steps will create your bookmarklet. Step 4 is to invoke it. And that is done by going up to the address bar and finding your bookmarklet and just tapping it. Alright, so that should hopefully get you guys. You see we have it there twice because I invoked the bookmarklet twice, but hopefully that'll get you going with bookmarklets on your tablet. It's a little bit easier on the PC or desktop because you can drag a bookmarklet up to your bookmarks bar and invoke it from the bookmarks bar. So that makes it a little easier. You don't have to go up here and pull it out of your history or whatever. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the Guardian group, Slack, Help Center, wherever you might have contact with me, and I'll try to help you out. And that'll be it.